Salute, 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 salute. Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. Welcome to the Real Big Fruit Podcast. I'm your host, Big Fruit, the Michael Jordan of recording, also known as the voice of the streets, better known as the glue, because I like to keep things together and keep them in a proper perspective. How y'all doing out there this morning? First and foremost, when you come through the building, smash the like button. Like, comment, and share. We trying to get the Real Big Fruit Podcast where he need to be. How y'all doing out there this morning? Today is hump day, the middle of the week. It's been a long week. You know what I'm saying? For me, party hard Saturday with the brotherhood. Had a hangover Sunday. Went back to work Monday, stumbling and bumbling. But I knocked it out Monday and Tuesday, man. We had a whole bunch of rain down here in Charlotte, so them days was ugly and nasty. But today is hump day. I'm feeling much better. You know what I'm saying? Wake up in the morning, eat my breakfast, do my workout. I always feel much, much better. But y'all see the title, right? The title says The Rise and Fall of CMB and Lafayette Gardens, a true Bronx tale. Yeah, man, this is the rise and fall of Lafayette Gardens as well as CMB, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a long, long story, but I'm going to try to sum things up as quick as possible. Y'all all familiar with the CMB brand, because we are a brand. Y'all familiar with the CMB brand as well as the LG brand because of YouTube. Y'all familiar with the CMB brand because of the name World and Wise. Y'all may be even familiar with the CMB brand because of the name Big Fruit. But let me tell you this, man. It was a time when LG was a beautiful place and CMB didn't exist. And back then, I'm going to take you back to the mid-'80s when I was growing up in Lafayette Gardens, and it was an experience. It was a beautiful experience, you know what I'm saying? It was always about love. It was always about respect and unity in Lafayette Gardens when I was coming up. As a shorty, I didn't witness a lot of transgressions and violence amongst each other in the housing projects. Yeah, we had the fist fights. You know what I'm saying? Because we had some legendary knuckle game checks out there. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to C. Asiatic, Smitty Love. Rest in peace to Fleetwood Mac. You know what I'm saying? We had some dudes in LG that could shoot joints. Big Un, Kevin Ellis. The list goes on. Rest in peace to all those brothers. But it came a time when crack and drugs was heavy in the streets in the mid-'80s, and everybody wanted a piece of that crack money. And I think the crack game is when things started to change in Lafayette Gardens, because people in Lafayette Gardens, they always took money. You know what I'm saying? The boosters, the jostlers, the pickpocketers, even the local stick-up kids who used to go to Midtown and do robberies. Everybody took money. But when crack came out and everybody wanted to be hustlers, whether they was hustling for themselves or hustling for other dealers, that's when things changed in Lafayette Gardens. Yeah, a couple people came up major in the mid-'80s with the crack game. You know what I'm saying? You had a couple crews in the projects who got plenty money. You know what I'm saying? You had the Swells, you had the Nays, you know what I'm saying? You had the Hamiltons, you had the who else? You had the Punches, you had the Big Uns when he first started hustling. You had Wise, you had Nut, you had Shopborn. The list goes on. A lot of people tried to get some of that crack money. It was popping uptown. But the crack game led to the guns and the violence. And that's when Lafayette Gardens started to change. That's when Lafayette Gardens started to change. When the guns and the violence came into play. Not only were the guns and the violence accessible to us, but a lot of the violence was before the shorty's eyes. Like I told you, the generations before CMB, they did what they did, and a lot of their shit wasn't frowned upon. But for some reason, when CMB planted our foot, we took things to another level, and things got out of hand. Things got out of hand. Yeah, things got out of hand when CMB stepped up, because when Wise was running the show, and CMB was just a bunch of little niggas running around doing dirt, it wasn't so much drama in the projects. You know what I'm saying? A lot of CMB dirt when Wise was in charge was local mischief. You know what I'm saying? We got away with a lot of nonsense, but at the end of the day, Wise was calling the shots in the project. And Wise started to slip and fall, and World decided to step up, things got crazy. Things got crazy. And I'm going to tell you why things got crazy. Things got crazy because World was like a sponge. He hung around Wise. Wise had him around Bush. Wise had him around Polite. And Wise had him around others. And World was a sponge. World was soaking all this shit up. I guess he was coming of age and he was trying to find himself. And I guess them people played an influence on the person he came to be. Not only losing Wise, but a lot of the shit he's seen, a lot of the shit he was around, all shaped him to become the person he was. You know what I'm saying? World was moving and grooming with a lot of people outside of Lafayette Gardens. And they played an influence on how he conducted himself. And then he had a major influence over his crew. You know what I'm saying? Not so much me, because I was in and out, DFY, 6 building, fucking with Ron K on Grand Ave. And when I was in the projects, I had my own little crew. Me and Sleep was doing our own thing. You know what I'm saying? It came a point when it was me, Peter Rad, Portal, and Ramos doing our own thing. But World had a heavy influence on the crew, because at the end of the day, World was Wise's little brother. And the guys in the crew always wanted to impress Wise. They always wanted to be with Wise. Like I told you, Wise and World would get into a beef and the crew would split. Some would hang with Wise, some would stick with World. The shit was crazy. Shit was crazy. But the fall comes about, man, with the violence, the drugs, the gunplay. You know what I'm saying? Witnessing bodies. Like I remember one time we woke up in the projects and a nigga was screaming out his window, yo, it's a body in my hallway. At the time, we seen dead bodies, but this was different. This was different. We all had to go upstairs, be nosy. We had to do that. So we went upstairs and we all got to look at the body in the building. We all prayed that it wasn't none of us, and it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? We was all thankful that it wasn't. It turned out to be a dude from Brownsville. Brownsville dudes brung him in the projects and left him there. But we had to witness things like that. Not only witness things like that, we had to be harassed by the police because of things like that. Because us knowing damn well we don't know this dude and we ain't got nothing to do with it, we were harassed, we were investigated, and they tried to stamp that one on CMB. You know what I'm saying? Thank God nobody was ever arrested for such a crime and had to deal with fighting a crime that they didn't commit. But we were definitely harassed about the situation. And that put a lot of lights on us, put a lot of lights and a lot of eyes on us for some shit we didn't do. But the rise and fall of LG was real. And I'm going to have to say the fall came about when I caught my case. When I caught my case and all hell broke loose and Grand Avenue got involved with what we was dealing with, shit changed. The temperament in Lafayette Gardens changed. That's when we were no longer a family in Lafayette Gardens. That's when we were no longer united in Lafayette Gardens. That's when we all began to question others that weren't in CMB, because others wanted to take sides. You know what I'm saying? Because others looked at us as a bunch of little badass kids in the projects, and that wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the case. We was holding down the fort. We was holding down the fort. But when I caught my case, man, that's when things changed, because we started bickering with Grand Avenue. Them chicks in LG decided to run down on Grand Avenue to sort them niggas for trust. And like Hov said, I don't know what the fuck they thought, because them niggas was foul just like us. You feel me? Them niggas was foul just like us. But anyway, they chose to go down on Grand Ave, and that shit intensified things. So now it's a beef in Lafayette Gardens with Grand Avenue. And as I sat in the can, that shit just went left. You know what I'm saying? I guess that 92 summer changed Lafayette Gardens to this day, to this very day. Because after 92 summer, when my case arrived, all hell broke loose, man. All hell broke loose. I sat on Rikers Island and watched so much shit transpire. So many dudes from the projects come to jail for shit. And it was like the projects was changing. It was on a decline. You know what I'm saying? Those who were cooperating with the police and those who was making false statements on CMB and those who had CMB locked up, maybe they thought they was on an uprise and they was going to take over Lafayette Gardens and they was going to do what we did. It never happened. You understand what I'm saying? The whole CMB sat on Rikers Island for about 8 months to a year until Big Fruit was convicted. When I was convicted, the prosecutor let the whole crew go and everybody went back to the streets. So dudes had 8 months to a year to basically lock down the projects and they didn't do it. CMB got back on the street and got to handling their business. Wise eventually came home and World and Wise was back in power. CMB and Wise was back in power, 9-4. Until Wise's demise in 9-9. World, on the other hand, 9-4 to 9 from 9, he was all over the place. You know what I'm saying? He was in and out of shit, catching cases. He caught, not only did he catch my intimidating witness on my case, he caught intimidating a witness for Portal case, because Portal was locked up for a body. World got caught up in that shit. Then the police said World was banging at him. He had an attempt on police. World was in and out of jail. He was just lost. I think he got focused once Wise passed. Once Wise passed away and he was incarcerated, he had some time to think and put some things into play. And he came home and he put those things into play. He just felt to have the right people around him. He felt to have people around him he could trust. And he felt to have people around him who truly, truly loved Wise as well as himself. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was out for self. Everybody was out for their own rep and their own name, to the point where dudes was even getting tired of each other. Dudes was even getting tired of each other. And that's what basically happened with Wise. Motherfucker got tired of Wise being on top and he took him down. World was determined not to let that happen to him. And y'all see the things he was accused of, the alleged crimes he's being accused of, and the things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? World played a major role in the downfall of Lafayette Gardens because he made some decisions that everybody didn't agree with. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people on the crew to this day, they feel some way towards Big Head. Me personally, I don't feel no way, man. You know what I'm saying? Because one, I understand we were kids, man. We were kids. We were 16, 17, and 18 years old in the streets of Brooklyn. Ain't none of us know how to be men. You know what I'm saying? We had to learn all that shit on our own. Because if I think about it, I don't recall none of us growing up with a father. We had big brothers, but not too many of us had a father. Shout out to Sleeping Jim. Sleeping Jimbo. Their father was always on deck. You know what I'm saying? We knew Mr. Ferrier. Word to mother. We knew Mr. Ferrier. But not too many of us had father figures. So we got to figure shit out on our own. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't have a sense of direction. So we caused a lot of pain in them projects. We hurt a lot of people in them projects. And the rise and the fall was crazy because I turned around in 2005 and the projects was wiped out. The projects was completely wiped out. Let me read some of these comments. What's popping, Uptown? What's popping, Finesse Airlines? The top of the morning, OG Fresh out of work. Appreciate this one. Thank you, Tank Engine Show. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Last night I came to the conclusion that I was going to do this episode, The Rise and Fall of Lafayette Gardens, because it was horrible, man. It was horrible. It was horrible. Not only the fall in the street was horrible, but the fallout on social media was even crazier. Yeah, we had a major fallout in Lafayette Gardens due to social media. Due to social media, man. Due to social media. Those that are familiar with the Big Fruit YouTube channel, the Real Big Fruit podcast, y'all also familiar with St. Laz because that's where I derived from. You know what I'm saying? I came from the St. Laz channel. I hooked up with St. Laz on the strength of another motherfucker. We got with St. Laz and we did the LG story. The LG story was a success. It was a hit. Listen, man, I'm gonna be dead honest with you. I remember my first episode. I didn't drop the first episode of the LG story. I dropped the second episode. And I could still recall the reaction I got from my first episode. I can recall the reaction from the people, and I can recall the reaction from myself, son. When my phone started to blow up that morning, Laz dropped my first episode, and everybody was so excited about the LG story, and everybody appreciated the things I had to say. And I got that call from Wise family. I couldn't even hold a conversation with him. I broke down in tears on the phone, son. Like, I literally broke down in tears talking to him. Like, yo, I couldn't believe the reaction that the people got. I got from the people, and I couldn't believe the emotions I stirred up in people, because people was missing that love in Lafayette Gardens. Quickly, when I say quickly, I mean in a New York minute. Quickly, things changed, because immediately I was being accused of stealing somebody's idea. You know what I'm saying? The boy Black Reg was like, yo, son, I was going to do the LG story. You stole my idea. And I'm like, yo, bro, I didn't steal no idea. Somebody called me and asked me to do the LG story. I'm not the one who created the LG story, nor was it my idea. But I guess Fruit was the name on YouTube everybody was flocking to. So Fruit became the villain. Fruit became the villain, son. And as the people celebrated Lafayette Gardens, as the people celebrated the LG story, we, the people of Lafayette Gardens, we were fighting. I was fighting with people I never fought with. I was having arguments with people I never had arguments with. I was receiving disrespect from people I never was disrespected by. So social media definitely played a major role in the rise and fall of Lafayette Gardens, because once we started beefing, some of us never bounced back from that. Some of us never bounced back from that. You understand what I'm saying? Some of us did, because it was a misunderstanding between us, and we didn't have a beef. Like, come on, son, we ain't never had no beef. Why are we doing this? We had to get our grown man on and come to grips with, you know what? We bugging. And we did that. So some of us got past the bullshit, but most of us didn't. And most of us never will, because I'm just not accepting some of that bullshit that went down. I'm just being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Finesse Analyzer, you had no choice. Once they mentioned your name in that Fed trial as the founder, you had to tell your side. See, Finesse Analyzer, not only is he a subscriber and a great supporter, but he does his research. See, that man just said, I had no choice once they mentioned my name in that Fed trial. I did my 23 years. I did 23 years from 1992 to 2014. They knocked me off June 92. They released me December 2014. 92 to 2014, I did 23 years of incarceration. The CMB trial took place in 2016. I did my whole 23 years and came home, man. Came home to live my new life. And these motherfuckers sat on that CMB trial, and my name was the first name that came out their mouth. I'm not lying to y'all. I'm telling y'all what it is. Motherfuckers sat on that trial and just kept implicating me. They said I was the first, I created CMB. They said I was on the scene of crimes that I wasn't. Like, they was going hard trying to prevent Big Fruit from getting out of prison and living his new life. That's what was going on with the CMB trial. And then when all that shit hit the internet, the LG story and all that shit, and everybody wanted to take their shots at Big Fruit, I became a rat. Yo, that nigga a rat. Yo, why that nigga ain't in jail with them niggas? Because every crime I committed, I went to jail for. That's why I ain't in jail with them niggas, man. Why y'all trying to give me cases? Why y'all trying to lock me up? You know what I'm saying? I did my time. You know what I'm saying? I did my time. I never said I wasn't the person who committed the crime that I was convicted of. I just said I didn't commit the crime the way y'all said I committed it. And I fought that tooth and nail. I fought that tooth and nail. I went to trial. I appealed the decision. I tried to get in the Court of Appeals. I even tried to go to the federal courts. So once again, I always say, anything anybody need to know about the first CMB case, which was mine, anybody need to know about that case, all you have to do is research my case in the law library. I didn't cop out to nothing. Nothing. So fuck what I say. Fuck what the haters say. Read what the judges had to say. That's what y'all read. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all read. Y'all read that information when it comes to Big Fruit. But the rise and fall of LG was real, man, especially when we got on the internet. You know what I'm saying? We got on the internet to do a great thing. And it was like, it was too much. I guess people wanted to be accepted the way fruit was being accepted on social media. You understand what I'm saying? With the LG story, other people was feeling left out. And I was trying my hardest to name everybody. I was trying my hardest to remember everything. But although I have a good memory and I remember most, I can't remember every single thing. That's why I always say, please blame it on my mind and not my heart. But at the same time, I can't remember everybody, man. It's people to this day that let me know, yo, son, I was with you here. Yo, son, me and you did this. Yo, son, me and you, me and you, me and you. And I totally don't remember. It's not to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? It's just that I remember so much. A lot of shit I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? Took it to trial. It's in the history books. Absolutely. Listen, man. That was a case. That was a case I wasn't proud of. That was a case that haunted me my whole incarceration. And that's a case that I still deal with to this fucking day, bro. I was never comfortable with the way things went down. I was never comfortable with the lies that was told. And I was never comfortable with the trial. So I continued to fight until I couldn't fight no more, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, anything people need to know about the Big Fruit case, it's documented. It's in the books. It's in history. It's for all to see. And you be the judge of that. Stop listening to the naysayers. Stop listening to the haters. Stop listening to the people that don't know no better. You understand what I'm saying? And with the LG story, I even tried to touch on the topic. I did an episode on St. Last channel called When I Fired That Shot. And I refused to change the title because it's the truth. The shot went off and the gun was in my possession. Why would I change the title? You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. And when I did that episode, I didn't get no negative feedback because I was trying to make amends, not to the family of my victim. I did that already. I did that for 23 years while I was incarcerated. For the whole 23 years of my incarceration, I always had a line and always had an open line of communication with the family. So my apologies and my amends to the family was done over and over and over and over for 23 years. Came home and tried to make amends publicly on social media because I was under the influence that the motherfucker I was riding with on social media, he was going to do the same because he had some amends he needed to make. To be truthful with you, that was the purpose of the story. Yo, son, I'm going to do the LG story so I can do this, so I can make amends and apologize to people. I was like, damn, that's a good idea. I should do that. And I did it. And I did it because I'm a man. I'm not a coward. You know what I'm saying? I listen, fruit, stand and fight, man. I don't run. I stand and fight. Whatever you got to say to me, say it, and I'm going to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So I chose to do that. Looked at my partner. He never did it. To this day, he didn't do it on the LG story. He didn't do it when he was on other niggas' platforms trying to take shots at Big Fruit. And he didn't do it in real life. He didn't do it. I did that, bro. I did that. And the sad thing about it is when I did it, I got backlash. I got backlash. People were upset with me because I apologized. I made amends. You know what I'm saying? I tried to shed light on the harm I caused. I tried to shed light on the pain I caused. And I tried to be apologetic about the situation. And that shit turned into a whole different ball game, son. Next thing you know, motherfuckers was all on YouTube, straight CNN describing my case, lying on me, all types of shit. Everybody wanted fame off the name. And y'all pretty much gave it to them to the point where y'all don't know who the fuck Fruit is. Y'all don't know what to believe. Y'all don't know what to believe. Nobody get mad at how you told the story. Listen, man, people be caught up in their feelings, bro. And Big Fruit just try to put it out there because the rise and fall of CMB and Lafayette Gardens was real. You know what I'm saying? Lafayette Gardens is a very, very, very small housing project. Only 7 buildings, bro. And the list of names that came out of Lafayette Gardens or came through Lafayette Gardens is impeccable, bro. It's impeccable, son. For us to only have 7 buildings, the LG story is crazy. Everything from basketball to the jams, to the boosters, to the diggers, to the hustlers. Like, it's crazy. It is really crazy. And it's a beautiful story. And I would have loved I would have loved to got that entire story out there to the people, but we couldn't do it because egos. One thing I tried to do throughout the LG story, I tried not to have an ego. I tried not to come in with an ego. I tried not to beat on my chest and make it about me because the title was The LG Story. Others didn't feel that way. They wanted that light shined on them because either they never had a light shine on them or they missed having a light shine on them. Me, I had the light shine on me for so long. I'm tired of the light. I'm tired of the light. I didn't need the light shined on me. You know what I'm saying? I came to YouTube with everybody thinking they knew who I was before I got here. You know what I'm saying? The name was ringing bells before I even jumped on YouTube. I would have to say I was a fucking fool for doing so because this shit changed my world in a positive way and in a negative way. But I'm gonna have to say negative 80-20. You know what I'm saying? On a positive note, it made me jump on this computer. It made me display my talent. It made me tell more stories. It made me write my books. And it made me become an author. So that was the positive shit that came out of this internet shit. But the drama and the disrespect I received fucking with YouTube is crazy, son. And the fallouts. See, it's a lot of fallouts I had on YouTube that y'all don't know about and y'all don't see because I don't speak on them. Hold on, let me read this comment by Finesse Analyze. That influence on rap culture, even indirectly. Lake and Spank mentioned all over Illmatic, and you were side by side with them. Those is my guys. Rest in peace to Spank. Shout out to Lakey the Kid. Those is my guys. Yo, that's what was my initiation to Queensbridge. Lakey and Spank. That's my initiation to Queensbridge. So shout out to the whole Queensbridge. Those is my guys, man. Somebody told me if this nigga Hassan Campbell accept the grudge match, we got to do it on neutral grounds. I picked Queensbridge. So shout out to Queensbridge. You know what I'm saying? If that nigga ever accept that challenge, we could do it on the neutral grounds. I pick Queensbridge. Shout out to Queensbridge. But like I said, man, I wanted to do the LG story and bring it to the world. But others didn't feel that way. They wanted their own light shined on them. They wanted their own fame. They wanted their own props. And it wasn't called my story. It was the LG story, bro. The LG story. Let's big up LG. Let's stop this beating on our chest and bigging ourselves up, and let's big up LG. That's what I wanted to do, man. And to this day, I kid you not, to this day, you know what I'm saying? Because Fruit ain't never been no foul nigga. Fruit ain't never been no scumbag, no piece of shit, scum on the earth. None of that, bro. Ain't nobody never had nothing bad to say about Fruit until Fruit jumped on social media. So Fruit is still that guy. Don't get it fucked up. I still, deep in my heart, man, would love to bring the LG story to the big screen. But I don't trust none of them niggas. And I really don't care for some of them. So it's a hard thing to do. You know what I'm saying? You got the World and Wide story, but y'all want the LG story because there's so many layers. The LG story turns into the World and Wide story. And then the World and Wide story turns into The Boys. But the LG story didn't get where it had to go because of social media, because of YouTube and the internet, the haters, the trolls, you know what I'm saying? The dudes who want to make a living off of this, the dudes who chose to disrespect Big Fruit from afar, but will not do that shit in my face ever, ever, ever. You know what I'm saying? So the LG story never got where it needed to be. And like I said, man, I had some fallouts, man. I had some fallouts. So it's not just the rise and fall of CMB and LG. It's the rise and fall of some good fucking relationships, bro. I have lost some good fucking relationships, not because of the CMB story or the LG story or YouTube. I lost a lot of relationships because of the actions of CMB. I lost a lot of relationships because of so-called homies and comrades. Instead of them being happy for me and supporting me on what I do on YouTube, they found themselves criticizing me. Yo, You on YouTube bugging. How I'm on YouTube bugging. Yo, you telling stories on YouTube. I told them same motherfucking stories in the yard. And y'all niggas was cool with it. Why y'all got a problem now? You understand what I'm saying? The name fruit was getting out there too much. And people wanted to either ride the coattail or they wanted that light for themselves. It's $1 million story. I believe so too, son. I really do. I really do. That influence. Yeah, I really do. Detroit versus everybody. I believe it's $1 million story, but we ain't gonna never get to the bag because of egos. You know what I'm saying? I came through the door day one, and you can ask St. Laz. You can go on his channel. You can text him. You can ask him. Day one, St. Laz spoke to me. I said, Laz, we could do the LG story on your YouTube, but at the end of the day, I want to do a movie. I want to bring cameras to LG. I want to give people in LG jobs. Like I want to do it big. I don't just want to be on YouTube. And Laz was like, all right, let's get to it. So me and Laz was on the same page. Nobody else was on that page, bro. And you see Laz still getting to it, still doing what he doing. You see me still getting to it, doing what I do. Nobody else is around because they didn't have a vision. This shit was for play for them. You understand what I'm saying? This shit was for play. It was a pastime. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to be recognized. They wanted to live in their old glory. But now they're gone. They're gone. But I'm still here trying to get this shit out because I believe, like the brother said, this is $1 million story, bro. It's $1 million story. And if we come together, we can make this shit happen. You know what I'm saying? We got some talent in Lafayette Gardens. You know what I'm saying? You don't only have big fruit. You got Miz Pincushion. You got Vision Films, camera work in Lafayette Gardens. What else you got? You know what I'm saying? You got Butter out there with the youth. He can gather the youth, them to lock in on what we're doing. We could do some things out there in LG, son. You got Popsy, Dr. Legend out there, you know what I'm saying, with his feet on the ground, working with the kids and doing all types of shit out there in Lafayette Gardens. It's so much we could do. But everybody not focused, bro. Fat Cat was popping. I remember in DFY, you had a shoebox with your whole crew name on it. So I knew about Butternut World, Peter Rab, Porter Rock, and many others. I was blessed to cross your path. You helped raise me. Yo, Cav was popping, son. And you fed me well in DFY. I remember your moms used to send all the snacks, kid. That's my boy. Queens in the building. My boy Fat Cab, Mama Duke sent all the snacks. For I used to get hungry. Yo, Cab, what you got in the locker? Cab had all the snacks. But yeah, Fat Cab will tell you, 1990, we was doing the DFY bid together, son. I love my crew, son. You know what I'm saying? And I always represented my crew. That man was with me in DFY in 1990 when we was 15 years old. I turned 16 in that place with him. You know what I'm saying? He tell you right there. He remember. I had a shoebox with the whole crew name on it. So he was familiar with Butternut World, Peter Rab, Porter Rock, and many others before the LG store, before the CMB legacy. He's a person who could say, I knew about them niggas way before then. Why? Because he knew fruit. I always carried the torch, bro. No matter where I was, son. No matter where I was. People all over New York State who ran across Big Fruit, they know who CMB and LG niggas are because of me, son. I ain't never shit on nobody from Lafayette Gardens, son. I ain't never had nothing bad to say about nobody from Lafayette Gardens until I got on YouTube. And that came about when niggas started taking shots at me. And I tried my hardest to ask niggas, yo, don't do this, man. Let's not go down this route. This shit is going to be embarrassing. It's going to be humiliating. It's going to be a whole bunch of shit I don't want to deal with. And I'm telling you, I'm going to fire back. Motherfucker said, fuck that. We gonna take this nigga down. We trying to end this nigga on YouTube. We trying to end this nigga. And they tried. And then when I fired back and I said the things I had to say, which were true, I never sat on YouTube and lied on nobody. Never. And nobody's come behind me to say, yo, that nigga lied or he wasn't fair. So after everybody took their shots and everybody got disrespectful, I took my shots. And you know what? I was the bad guy. Yo, why you say that? Yo, you shouldn't have said that. Yo, take that video down. Nah, son. The gloves is off. I begged y'all not to do this shit. I begged y'all not to do that shit. So I was painted as the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? So to this day, some view me as the bad guy from Lafayette Gardens. Fuck what everybody said about me. Fuck what everybody said about my family. Fuck what everybody said about me and mine. You understand what I'm saying? I can't respond. Get the hell out of here, son. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So I contribute to the rise and fall of CMB. I had no choice, bro. I had no choice but to contribute to the bullshit. I had no choice but to contribute to the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? When it came to the internet fall of Lafayette Gardens. But to this day, bro, to this day, man, I really, really, really would like to bring that story to light, man, because it's $1 million story. It's so many hitters, so many players. It was so many good times in Lafayette Gardens. So many heavy rollers came through there, and a lot of people throughout Brooklyn got history in Lafayette Gardens. You know what I'm saying? If I can't do the movie, how about the Lafayette Garden documentary? Or the CMB documentary. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, yo, this shit kills me. Yo, the feds, you the feds, you nobody want to go to jail. I get that. But let me tell y'all something, son. Whatever the feds need to know, they know. Niggas did enough telling in that CMB case, enough lying in that CMB case. If the feds want anybody from Lafayette Gardens and want to attach you to any unsolved crimes with Lafayette Gardens and CMB, they would have done it by now. So I'm tired of hearing that, yo, the feds, yo, the feds. Man, listen, the feds want you, they gonna come get you. And then y'all niggas don't even be in the streets. Y'all niggas be acting like y'all in the streets. Yo, I want to be. I understand niggas don't want to be on the internet. I get it. I regret getting on the internet my damn self, but I'm here. I made my bed. I got to lay in it. And I'm not influencing nobody else to go through that bullshit I went through. But what I'm saying is, what's done is done, man. If they gonna come fuck with you, they gonna fuck with you. It is what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Niggas been screaming my name and all types of shit. They ain't fucking with me. And I know why they ain't fucking with me. I know where I was every day a crime was committed. Either I was at DFY or I was up north. I ain't got nothing to do with that shit, son. So I ain't worried about them fucking with me. I ain't worried about them fucking with me. And that's real rap. And a lot of people need to understand they not fucking with y'all. And y'all need to come to grips with that. Everybody want to feel like they incognito. They got something to hide. Get the fuck out of here, man. Half y'all niggas was just there. Y'all ain't did shit. Y'all ain't seen shit and you don't know shit. That was just there. Y'all trying to have this fake facade like you a street nigga and you ducking the police. That's far from the truth. You was the nucleus behind it all. Once you got locked up, nobody else in the streets had enough strength to stop what eventually happened in LG. Same thing happened in QB once Yammy passed. Wow, rest in peace of Yammy. Listen, man, shit like that happened. I was the glue then, and I'm trying to be the glue now. I'm trying to pick up the pieces and put them together. So let me say this, right? I ain't got no smoke with Lafayette Garden niggas, man. Not no real niggas in Lafayette Garden. Them corny niggas, son. Them niggas gonna always be corny to me because I am who I am and I don't bite my tongue and I'm gonna tell them niggas what it is. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean I don't like you. Or that might mean I don't fuck with you. But you're a corny nigga. Then again, it's some corny niggas who I don't like. Some corny niggas I don't have no love for and I don't respect. You know what I'm saying? So that, and it's gonna remain that way. It's gonna remain that way. You know what I'm saying? And some of them niggas, I wish they would accept a grudge match. Real talk. But they ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna do that. But the rise and fall of Lafayette Gardens and CMB is real, son. And I'm very much ashamed that I played a part in that shit because I love my hood, son. You just had a dude sit here and tell you, man, I was repping my hood, 15 years old in DFY, way up in the mountains. Listen, nigga, I'm from LG. And when you see these names or hear these names, this is what we about. I always been about my hood, son. Maybe a little too much. Even on this YouTube shit, son, I always been about the homies. I always been about the homies. You know what I'm saying? I stayed jumping out the window for this nigga, man. And everybody be on my line, yo, son, stop fighting that nigga battle. I ain't fighting that nigga battles. I'm speaking on what the fuck going on. Other niggas speaking on it. but they're speaking against him. They're being derogatory against him. But if I speak on it and I speak for him, I'm defending him. Nah, I'm not defending him. I'm speaking on the same shit everybody else speaking on. I just got a different point of view. I just got a different point of view. And motherfuckers, yo, you fighting that nigga battles. Nah, son. I ain't fighting no motherfucking body battles. He don't need me to fight his battles. He fight his own fucking battles. You know what I'm saying? Then you had niggas who try to indirectly stir up a little conflict with me and Mano. Yo, that nigga Mano this, yo, that nigga Mano that. And I had to sit back and say, oh shit, these niggas really hate Jermaine. Because I know Jermaine, son. I don't know Mano. I don't know that Hollywood nigga. I don't know him. I know Jermaine. And I'm saying, damn, these niggas really hate Jermaine. To the point where they trying to influence me to beef with him. Oh, they want me to attack Mano on YouTube. Nah, I don't make a living off of dissing. Especially a motherfucker I come up with. We ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So if people were sitting back trying, yo, what's popping, wise? If niggas was sitting back trying to champion a fake beef with me and Mano, which never happened. I never bid on that shit, son. I never bid on that, and I never will. You know what I'm saying? It will never come a time where I'm sitting on here on YouTube in front of this camera, indirectly or directly beefing with any of my comrades whose name came out my mouth, or any of my comrades that I named in any of my books. That will never, ever happen. You understand what I'm saying? Because brothers fight. Brothers fight. Listen, man, I tell niggas all the time, son, me and Brooklyn Mo, we stay going at it. Brooklyn Mo be letting me know, nigga, I ain't gonna fight you. I'm gonna bust you in your motherfucking head with something. I tell him all the time, yo, nigga, brothers fight. We can fight, we can wrestle, we can roll over in the grass, all that shit. And I'm gonna love you the next day, nigga. Win or lose, I'm gonna love you the next day. Because big brothers whip little brothers' asses. You know what I'm saying? And if we equal, one of us got to win, one of us got to lose, or we gonna end it in the tie. But at the end of the day, we gonna remain brothers. I tell niggas that all the time. Brooklyn Mo said, nigga, I'm gonna bust you in your head with something. But bust you in your motherfucking head. So brothers fight. I get that. Brothers fight, son. But I'm not gonna sit here on YouTube and fight with any of my brothers on social media, son. What about your history with drug abuse? Is it true or is it lie? Respectfully. Listen, nigga, drug abuse, I never abused no drugs. Drug use is a different thing. Everybody sat in the can getting high. Everybody indulged in drugs. What the fuck? I was getting high before prison. How about that? How about that? When I was 15 years old, Wise introduced me to Big Daddy. Me, Wise, Peter Rab, Stack, the whole clique, sniffing coke. That's not nothing new, son. I was sniffing coke before I went to jail. I went to jail at 17. I already was sniffing coke. Peter Rad passed me my first coke cigarette. Like, that shit ain't nothing new. That shit ain't nothing new. That shit didn't make me or break me. The fuck is he talking about? On Divine, man, line up, nothing to a drip at T3. Listen, man, I ain't think about them niggas, son. But he asked me an honest question, and I honestly answered him. Nigga was getting high before he went to jail, son. Nigga was getting high before he went to jail. Simple as that, son. I ain't one of them niggas who could sit here and tell you I had it figured out. Hell no, son. I didn't have it figured out in the street, and I didn't have it figured out in prison. I had some homies that had it figured out as soon as they got their DIN number. Yo, I'm going up north. I'm chilling, trying to come home. I didn't have that shit figured out. Nigga, we about to go up in these mountains, and what it's going to be, it's going to be. And that's what it was. I ain't have it figured out. Killing each other was a down for the entire Brooklyn. Absolutely, son. Every nigga in Brooklyn that went to jail for a body killed a nigga in Brooklyn. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Basically. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? I always admitted that my struggles in prison was because I ain't know no better and I ain't have no vision. But when I got with my wife, son, that's when my life changed. She opened my eyes to so much. You know what I'm saying? A nigga realized he had something to live for. Nigga realized he had something to get home to. Because before my wife, I ain't had nothing to go home to. The whole CMB was locked up. The feds was on niggas' ass. They violated so many niggas, I ain't know who was who and what was what. So if I wouldn't have came across my wife, ain't no telling how things would have turned out. Because I would have ended up back in Brooklyn. with a gun on my hip, waiting for a motherfucker to say or do something stupid, and I'd have ended up back in prison. You know what I'm saying? But it was that beautiful woman I got that shaped me and molded me and said, nah, nigga, it's time to clean up your act. You worth more than that. And that's what the fuck I had to do. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I had to do. And this is no knock on nobody that's sitting in prison who don't have a woman. It's not that. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas in prison, they figure it out. They get with the OGs. They get in certain programs. They go to school. They figure it out. I wasn't one of them niggas, son. I wasn't one of them niggas. I was in the yard. I was shaking niggas up. I was doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to keep it real with you. From 92 to 2008, that shit looked like it was going to be forever. Like, I ain't know if 2008 was ever going to get there. You know what I'm saying? I just was running wild. They wanted you to outpull yourself and come back reliving your street past. You wising up. We see where that decision left him. I don't know if they wanted me to outpull myself, because outpull told on niggas, and outpull put himself in a position to get what he got. So that wouldn't have been my story. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't coming back to Brooklyn with no bullshit because I knew better. Listen, like I told you, son, I was in the prison yard for 23 years. I ain't duck no smoke. I was in every maximum security prison in the state of New York. I ain't duck no smoke. I was around a lot of people, son. A lot of people. Hitters, non-hitters, steppers, non-steppers, big dogs, little dog. I was around a lot of niggas, son. Ain't nothing never happened to fruit. Nigga ain't never took nothing from fruit. Nigga ain't never did nothing from fruit. None of that shit, son. So this NA shit was crazy. Yo, he had separations from niggas. He was ducking smoke. Listen, man, they said everything and anything to entertain y'all while they were trying to humiliate and embarrass me. And y'all went for it. Y'all went for it. And when I speak on that, it brings me back to those fallouts. The comrades know who they are. We don't talk as much as we used to. We don't vibe because motherfuckers feel some way about what I was doing. Instead of supporting me, they was criticized. They in New York having conversation. Yo, that nigga Fruit on YouTube, bucket. Yo, he said this, he said that. Why he say that? He wasn't home when that happened. Everybody has something to say. Yo, the illest one was, yo, why he keep talking about Boo Beer? He ain't from Brownsville. Nigga, talk about who the fuck I want to talk about. That's first of all. And the niggas out there that was having these motherfucking conversations about fruit are niggas who would not be nowhere near me in the street. Niggas who wasn't even outside when I was home. Like, real talk. That's how bad it is. Hate is real, son. And it be the closest nigga to you, man, that be hating instead of championing for you. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened with Mano. Niggas want me to be a Mano hater. No, I'm championing for him. I'm rooting for him, as he should be doing for me. He better be doing for me, or we gonna have a fucking problem. But the reality of it is, I'm rooting for the niggas, son. I'm rooting for all my homies, son. If Nick was out there fighting, a 50-year-old nigga trying to go pro and try to relive his motherfucking dreams, I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him. Straight jacket. If a non-professional league or a professional league call that little nigga booger and clean him up and tell that nigga we need you to coach or play, I'm rooting for him. I'm not going to sit back and criticize them niggas. I'm rooting for them. You know what I'm saying? I go for all my homies. Miz Pincushion. Shout out to Miz. Miz out there writing those books. Dropped his movie. I'm promoting that shit for him because I'm rooting for him. That's what we do. We root for each other. Never no hate in my blood, son. I see the niggas that be hating on me. I see them. I just don't say nothing because it's sad, son. It's real sad. Even with the NA Rock story. Shout out to the homies on NA Rock. Shout out to Miami. He did a hell of a job. Even with the NA Rock story, son. I didn't want to do no NA Rock story. I'm not from NA Rock. I'm from LG. I'm not from NA Rock. I was begging somebody from NA Rock to do the story. Yo, let's do the story. The people want the NA Rock story on the Real Big Fruit podcast. The hate was so real, you know what they did? They ran to last. They ran to last, son. And niggas on NA Rock was like, yo, hold on, yo, but Miami know you. It's pictures of you in Miami floating around the internet. Why he ain't call you? I don't know. I just woke up and heard the nigga on last. I thought it was a great job. Nah, son, that nigga was supposed to call you. I don't feel that way. Because Laz is the homie. And Laz got some lights over there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel that way at first. I said, yo, they call Laz like this is what Laz do. Yeah, but Fruit, they should have called you. I get it. I get it. And that's what NA Rock is saying. That's not what Big Fruit's saying. That's what NA Rock is saying. That goes to show you, son, the hate is real. The hate is real. At the end of the day, man from Notion Clifton went for it. He became a rap star dope. Yeah, at the end of the day, you got to root for him, son. Just like I was rooting for Kim. I was rooting for Big. That's how you do that, son. You got to root for others. How you going to hate on another motherfucker but expect your blessings? It don't work like that. And the same thing goes with forgiveness. You can't expect to be forgiven for your past and mistakes until you forgive others. Straight up and down. So I've had to learn to forgive some motherfuckers. Why? Because I've been asking forgiveness for a long time for some of the shit I've done. You understand what I'm saying? And you're not going to be forgiven if you can't forgive. That's just how the shit go. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, the rise and fall of Lafayette Gardens and CMB was real. I played a part in that shit, not only in the streets, but I played a part of that shit on the internet. And, you know, I make no apologies for what went down on the internet, bad, bro. I will never make no apologies for that shit, son. If I said it, I meant it. If I said it, I meant it. And I don't care how nobody feel. As far as the bullshit I did in the past, before my incarceration, I am very, 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 very sorry for those things. You know what I'm saying? I destroyed my community. And the sad part and so, let me read this comment. You always show love. I remember how proud you were when you saw Nut in the Big and Kim video. Always champion your brother. Thank you. Now that's a brother who was around me. Son. You understand what I'm saying? Yo, listen, man, they painted Fruit to be out the bad guy. You know why? Because Fruit was going to be the one. Fruit was going to be the one to do that. You know what I'm saying? And the sad thing about it, people might not believe me when I say this shit, but this is the truth. I've never sat here and told you no lies, son. My whole incarceration, I told you I had an open line with the family and shit like that. I was communicating with the family. I always felt like, yo, I got to go home and do something in remembrance of my victim. Some type of foundation, something. She was a single mother. Maybe I could do something for single mothers. Like something. I always felt the need to come home and do something in memory of my victim. And they shot that shit down when they went crazy on the internet, son. Like, they shot all that shit down. Anything that I may have wanted to do to show the respect for my victim, that shit is out the window. I wouldn't dare, because the family chose to do what they did, Shorty. They didn't have to do that. They probably sit back today saying, damn, why we do that? Why we do that? Or they probably just saying, fuck it, I don't give a fuck if I was lying or not. That's just how some foul people are. But at the end of the day, my guy, it's still some things I would have loved to do in memory of my victim that I never got the chance to do, because they changed the narrative, son. They changed the narrative. They turned that situation from an accident to some fake intentional shit and tried to make me look like the villain. And once that happened, son, all love was lost. All love was lost, son. I don't look at certain people the same, and I never will. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the rise and fall of CMB and Lafayette Gardens, a true Bronx tale, a true Brooklyn tale. I almost said Bronx tale like the movie. A true Brooklyn tale, son. This shit is real. And I played a part in the destruction of Lafayette Gardens when I was on the streets. I apologize for that. No man should tear down his own community. And to this day, I got a niece and nephews that rip and run my community. And I'm ashamed to say I was a part of the downfall of my community. But when it comes to the internet, I definitely played a role in the downfall of Lafayette Gardens on the internet. And I don't apologize for none of that shit. I'm not apologetic about it. You know what I'm saying? I will gear up and play the tape back if I have to with these niggas. Like, I'm not playing that shit, son. There will be no more Big Fruit slander. You will not disrespect Fruit. You will not disrespect my wife. None of that shit, son. I'm not playing that shit. Because I didn't come on here trying to be disrespectful. I came on here trying to show love, and y'all motherfuckers couldn't take it. It was too much for y'all. The name Big Fruit, the brand Big Fruit was entirely too much for y'all, and y'all tried to take me down. Yeah, I can remember them niggas saying it. Yo, son, she trying to take that nigga down. Like, yo, like that shit was funny to them. Yeah, the shit was crazy. Fat Kev, I still remember the red and white Adidas, fresh walking into the spot, never wore them in the spot, and you walked out the spot in those high top red and white Adidas. Yeah, no question, sir. I rolled up in the spot with a fresh pair, threw them in my locker, and you ain't see him again till I left. Yeah, because I threw the Timbs on. I had the construction Timbs on for the whole 6 months. Yeah, I had the Timbs on for the whole 6 months, Kev. But you remember the red and white large man Adidas. My man Sleep used to call them the large man Adidas when we bought them. And he used to call them the large man Adidas because back then, when you was getting big money, you was considered large, or that nigga large. And me and Sleep was downtown. This is a quick story. Me and Sleep was downtown buying sneakers. And he was like, yo, that's them red and white Adidas I saw Mike and Polite wearing. This is true story. He said, yo, those them shits Mike and Polite be wearing. We gonna call those the large man. So me and Sleep bought those red and white Adidas, both them the large mans. Matter of fact, I'm gonna text Sleep today and tell him I told him this story. Word, the large mans. That's crazy. The red and white Adidas. Damn, Kev, you got a good memory. He got a good memory. But yeah, man, like I said, in no way, shape, form, or fashion will I be apologetic for the downfall of Lafayette Gardens on the internet, because I didn't start that shit. I just finished it. You know what I mean? But like I said, man, to this day, man, I still would like to do some major things in Lafayette Gardens. But it don't look like Lafayette Gardens is trying to do that. So I moved on to doing the World and Wild story, as well as the Boys of Rikers Island. I'm going to turn those into a movie script as well as a TV series, and take it from there, man. You know what I'm saying? One thing you do in Lafayette Gardens can't deny is my talent. You can't deny my talent, son. That's one thing y'all can't do. Y'all can't deny my talent, son. And that's what I continue to do, display my talent. I'm not here to cause no problems for nobody. I'm not here to be beefing with niggas. But if you start it, Big Fruit will finish it. It ain't no question about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's about that time. It's 10 minutes to 8. It's about that time for your boy to get up out of here and go handle my business. I've been on here now for almost an hour, and I don't usually do this, because this LG shit is dear to my heart. You know what I'm saying? So I felt the need to give y'all a little more time on this video. Usually my videos are 12 to 15 minutes. But today, I gave y'all a whole hour because y'all were worthy of it. And this topic was worthy of it. So before I go, I just want to shout out the whole Lafayette Gardens. I want to shout out everybody in Lafayette Gardens that's making it happen. I want to shout out the Ms. Pincushions. I want to shout out the Butter. I want to shout out the Vision Films. I want to shout out the Popsy. I want to shout out the Porter Rock. You know what I'm saying? Those are my guys that's still out there doing what they do. What else? What else I want to tell y'all before I bounce, man? You know how this shit go, man. It's early in the morning on a hump day, so I'm kind of lost to words right now. I got most of that shit off my chest. But I'm going to break out now and get ready to go get this money, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Big Fruit do what he do. I'm going to tap back in with y'all later to see how y'all enjoyed this story, to see if y'all appreciated this story. There's 30 of y'all in the building with only 15 likes. So half of y'all niggas is peeking and poking. You know what I'm saying? Peeking and not speaking. It's all good. I don't have the energy to curse y'all niggas out this morning. But on that note, I'm going to get up out of here. Yo, Fat Kev, salute. Detroit vs. everybody, salute. Mentality, salute. Yo, Chewy, you know you the fam. Yo, Vito, still salute. Javi Wentz was popping. T3 was popping. Y'all already know, man. It's your boy Big Fruit. I do what I do. Until later on, y'all be easy.